telling me that the whole reason that the Democrats are doing this is because they want to be there for next weekend's No King's March in Washington, where you're going to see these activists march in Washington this coming Saturday. One senator told me that the groups are threatening Minority Leader Schumer, telling him, you better do this and keep the government closed or we will make you irrelevant. And so do you believe that's what this is about? It's more theatrics than really any, marriage to these Obamacare subsidies?
Well, Maria, the American people are being held hostage by Chuck Schumer's poll numbers. Why did he go with a clean CR in the spring? What's changed is his poll numbers versus AOC have collapsed. And if in fact they are waiting for this No Kings protest, no kings means no paychecks. No paychecks and no government. And Maria, I think the dirty secret here for why this has dragged on for so long is the Democratic friends in the mainstream media have been downplaying this shutdown. And this is getting serious. It's starting to affect the real economy. It's starting to affect people's lives. And if this were the Republicans who were engineering the shutdown, and make no mistake that Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, and the House passed a clean CR. Leader Thune calls a vote every night, and 3 Democrats have crossed the aisle. John Fetterman, I believe, was on your show yesterday.
Yes, that's
and
right.
Senator Fetterman said, we got to reopen the government. So we just need a few more Democrats to get away from the radicalized left. But clearly, that's the wing that's taken over the party, and they've been unable to stop President Trump in the courts, in the media, so now they are using a government shutdown to stop his initiatives. President Trump is doing peace deals, trade deals, and tax deals, and the mainstream media refuses to respond to how serious this situation is because they don't want to embarrass the Democrats. If this was a Republican shutdown, this would sound like it was the end of the world.
The streets of Portland were theirs, not anymore. Antifa's so-called stronghold just turned into their biggest defeat yet. Police swept through downtown Portland with military precision, riot squads, laser shields, taking down Antifa ringleaders one by one. The crowd scattered in panic. Some radicals who once ruled the streets now run from the law. But it's not just about arrests. The Trump administration just launched a scorched earth campaign to hunt down every single financier and dark money donor funding this chaos. The DOJ, FBI, Treasury, and IRS are working together to trace every dollar flowing into Antifa's operation. And yes, that means billionaire donors like George Soros, Reid Hoffman, and Neville Roy Singham are officially in the crosshairs. Trump's new directive is clear. If you fund street violence, your books are getting opened. Your tax exemptions are gone. Your days of hiding behind nonprofits are over. Even longtime Antifa cheerleaders are fleeing. Professor Mark Bray, the guy who literally wrote the book on Antifa, packed up and fled to Spain after the crackdown hit. That tells you everything you need to know. Investigators have uncovered over $100 million in taxpayer money that accidentally got funneled into Antifa-linked groups. Accidentally? Oh my God, you heard it right. Americans were forced to bankroll their own destruction. Now the Government Accountability Institute has blown the lid off Antifa's entire operation. Fake charities, bail funds, paid protesters, and propaganda network disguised as activism. Trump's response? RICO charges, asset seizures, the IRS probes targeting every nonprofit connected to the web. The message is simple. Law and order is back. This isn't just about Portland either. It's about ending the far left chaos that's infected cities across America for years. The days of violent radicals burning and looting with impunity are over. Even Soros' own allies are sweating bullets as the crackdown expands. For the first time, the people who funded America's destruction are facing real consequences. This is Trump's America First justice in full force. Antifa is crumbling. The far left street army is finished, and their billionaire puppet masters are next. Y'all like the video right there? Follow for more.
Here in batshit bonkers Britain, where we're getting ready for another day at the coalface. First up, climate change. The headline roulette has been spun, and today's climate change headline is, carbon dioxide levels are rising at record rates. Given that they're 0.04% of the atmosphere, I, for one, am very, very concerned. And I look to the wokerati and our leftist betters to tell us what to do. I mean, maybe we should keep tearing down the rainforest in order to build a shitty road for a shitty climate change conference. Maybe we should keep covering our farmland in solar panels that have been imported from China that can't be recycled. Maybe we should keep throwing small black children down mines in order to dig up enough minerals to put in batteries of electric vehicles that no one knows how to recycle. I mean, maybe that will fix the problem. What do you think? In other news, Trumpy Trump, finally recognised by Time magazine for his genius work in securing a peace deal between Israel and Palestine. But of course, Time magazine, supposedly a noble publication, couldn't resist but put a terrible photo of Trump on the front cover, taken from beneath. I say to you, Sam, editor of Time magazine, come to me. Come beneath here. Go beneath my flange. And then take a photo upwards. Your eyeballs will melt. They will dissolve in your head and you will be put off from ever having sex again. Not that I think you got that much in the first place. And finally, Mail Online says that if there was an election tomorrow, Reform would win 445 seats in the House of Commons. That is terrific news. Time for Reform leadership to start thinking very carefully about how they're going to hit the ground running. Less Trump 45, more Trump 47. They're going to need to drain the swamp, which is the civil service. They're going to need to round up illegals from their holding pens across this country and get them deported. And they're going to need to put great British patriots first. That's it. Batshit bonkers Britain.
Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Iraq told CNBC Arabia there's no intention to float the dinar's exchange rate. No, we don't want a wild float. We need things stable. And then they want us to know about the gold holdings. That Iraq has increased its gold holdings from 90 tons to 170 tons. 20% of total assets are now gold and growing. No intention to float. I think that's important. But they did say that they intend to remove the zeros. They're telling you. Fixed, set when they change the rate. Central Bank gold reserves reach 170 tons and intention to remove zeros. Again, now we should probably talk once we get through the news out of Iraq, what that delete the zeros or remove the zeros means. They have talked about this in their reform papers. Shabibi, gone there for a while, all over the world. The man who designed the system, explaining it. This is not a secret. For some reason, people refuse to watch the videos, read the articles, read the reform papers, and they tell you that they're just going to chop zeros or lop them. That is not anything coming out of Iraq that says that. I'm not certain what's confusing. That's confusing. All will be going at the same time except those. Oh, that's not confusing at all. Simply this. Some aren't ready to exchange. Some nations haven't done what they need to do. So rather than wait, everybody else is going without them. But I don't see any of the one. Well, I don't know. I'm awfully worried whether Venezuela goes in a first basket or not, or Iran, because some of you guys have invested in those. Other than those, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Iraq are all expected to go at the same time.
Time magazine wrote a relatively good story about me, but the picture may be the worst of all time. They disappeared my hair and then had something floating on top of my head that looked like a floating crown, but an extremely small one. Really weird. I never like taking pictures from underneath angles, but this is a super bad picture and deserves to be called out. What are they doing and why? I am speaking to President Putin now. The conversation is ongoing, a lengthy one, and I will report the contents, as will President Putin, at its conclusion. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Posted by President Donald J. Trump. I'm outraged that the International Maritime Organization is voting in London this week to pass a global carbon tax. The United States will not stand for this global green news scam tax on shipping and will not adhere to it in any way, shape, or form. We will not tolerate increased prices on American consumers or the creation of a green news scam bureaucracy to spend your money on their green dreams. Stand with the United States and vote no in London tomorrow. If Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Message from President Donald J. Trump. Under my standing authorities as Commander-in-Chief, this morning the Secretary of War ordered a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel affiliated with a designated terrorist organization, DTO, conducting narco-trafficking in the U.S. Southcom area of responsibility, just off the coast of Venezuela. Intelligence confirmed the vessel was trafficking narcotics, was associated with illicit narco-terrorist networks, and was transiting along a known DTO route. The strike was conducted in international waters, and 6 male narco-terrorists aboard the vessel were killed in the strike. No U.S. forces were harmed. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Message from Texas Snake. I am receiving information that the exchange centers will begin scheduling appointments possibly by this weekend, but no later than Tuesday, October 21. Texas Snake. While the banker is not in the position to declare our exchange at this point, he is very positive we are right on the verge of receiving the notifications we all await. His exchange staff is on alert to man the 800 appointment numbers to schedule our meetings. Say your prayers, we are finally here. Posted on 10/16/25. Bruce Intel. Got lots of info yesterday. 5 or 6 different sources unrelated telling us we are ready to go today, they thought. One thought we would get emails today at 11 a.m., but it did not happen. But they said if not today, look for 9:30 a.m. in the morning on Friday, tomorrow. The intel changes, and Bruce said President Trump just did the 20-point peace deal with Hamas and Israel. All those alive came back, but Hamas is not playing ball. We cannot trust what they say, so we will see what they do. President Trump has had a call with President Putin, and he may have another, and Zelensky is meeting with President Trump tomorrow. Those two were supposed to put together and signing the peace accord between Russia and Ukraine, and we should have that done, complete, and announced tomorrow. Pres Trump will be announcing world peace tomorrow. That should satisfy Gassara and Nassara to get going. We look forward to getting notified, but it could push through the weekend. We are hearing from Thursday to later into Sunday or Monday. It could end up on the weekend. As a result, Bruce does not know exactly where we stand and cannot get confirmed on Doge, tariff dividends, etc. Social Security increase have not showed up this month. What we have heard people say is notification from Social Security for a $99 increase, but it may be a cost of living allowance. At the end of the month, they may give everyone the increase. We will have to see about that. We heard that the same person who gave us 11 a.m. tonight, it could be 9:30 in the morning. Our source in Iraq, close to Pres Soudani and all in power there, they know them personally, and Iraq at 8:30 today, this morning, their time, did revalue the IQD. And this time, it is one where the 3 zeros, 25K, 10K, and 5K notes, had zeros stripped off. That is not our dinar. We have the ones with the 3 zeros on them. We knew this would happen 12 years ago and finally happened today. We do not know the international rate. Let's stay positive for this. This is good news that IQD had to get their digital act together. They will be a digital currency country. Had to be done by yesterday, as President Trump told them to get it done. So Iraq has done all this. All they need now is the go-ahead from the USA, such as a call or a communication from President Trump or Scott Bessent. When they decide to let it go, we get notified. The Forex is not up with rates. Buy rates were blinking fast on the screens yesterday and today, but they will solidify. It does not matter. The Forex can show it or not. What matters to us is the redemption screen rate. Even if you have Zim, you can get contract rate on Dinar if you have projects. They should offer you contact rate. If not, ask them for it if you have Dinar. Bondholders were told they would have access today at 1 p.m., but it did not happen. They will not get access to their funds till we get notifications. Good news is that Trump and Ukraine tomorrow getting it done, signing peace with Russia and Ukraine, and Trump will announce world peace. Hamas and Israel peace is in effect. 9 conflicts solved by President Trump. President Trump is doing a superb job leading the country during this term and maybe beyond. We know deliveries were made to redemption centers and banks of our new USN currency. Depending on when we get started, we should have USN announced as a new asset-based currency. The USN is an integral part of Nasara and Gasara. This may happen over the weekend. EBS? Will we see disclosure? Not knowing how soon, but not far off. The IRS last night changed over to the External Revenue Service, lost 70% of IRS personnel due to layoffs, and then good people left taking over the ERS. We hope this means no more taxes. It may take effect beginning of 2026. Bruce says, we hope to see Nasara rolled out this month through end of the year. Today's the 16th of October. We'll stay tuned to your emails and watch the Trump news conference tomorrow. Forwarded from Carpathia.
The opera is around the corner. This celebration is going to be huge. Please share the link to the room so many can join the celebrations. Forwarded from Wolverine. P.S. I know some of you don't like Wolvie. He's only the messenger. It's not a job for everyone. He's up early to take calls from anywhere around the world. Information changes. Who knows why? But it's not Wolvie's fault.
Nasara Gasara is here, and we are on the verge to commence the greatest transfer of wealth. You have all been chosen, and you are all going to be part of history. Just remember where you were when this occurs. I will receive a call when to release the opera, which will be any day now. God bless you all. Wolverine.
I was just informed that redemption staff are on high alert. Posted by SKYE.
TNT Tony Update, October 15th, 2025. Tony shared the following details in today's update. He was told at 1:30 a.m. today that Iraq could announce it at 8 a.m. when banks open. He's been told it's done and it could happen tonight, with Sudani still needing to make the announcement. Banks have been given the green light again. Tony has been promised the 800 numbers daily since Friday, but still hasn't received them. He mentioned that people in New York were upset that he doesn't have them yet and that he's supposed to get them 2 hours before it goes live. Timeline outlook. Tony is looking at Thursday in Iraq, Friday for the U.S., and Saturday for bank exchanges. There was major excitement yesterday and last night. It was expected at 2 p.m. yesterday, but that timing changed. 800 numbers distribution. President of the Royal Bank of Canada, Puerto Rico, will receive and control the 800 numbers and payouts there. Australia will have its own number. TNT will receive the numbers. Another guru, possibly Frank 26, was supposed to receive them but doesn't believe in them, so that may not happen. Exchange guidance. 1 million dinar qualifies for the $28.50 rate. Rate eligibility may depend on how long you've been with your bank and what other currencies you hold. Banks are asking people to have currencies separated and pre-counted in different bags. Maintain a professional, business-like attitude, no demanding. You may be referred to a wealth manager to help with investments and planning. Currencies listed for exchange or redemption: Dinar, Dong, Zim, Afghani, Rupiah, Bolivar. Additional notes. Banks reportedly expect most people to be broke within 2 years, as many are unprepared to manage large sums. Tony advised against buying luxury vehicles impulsively. Maintenance and costs are extremely high. Dong rate minimum, $11. Bolivar rate minimum, 30 cents. Tony is watching for the Iraq announcement tonight, 1:30 a.m. EST. TNT Tony update, key highlights, October 15th, 2025, Part 2. Via Iraq Currency Exchange News. Articles in Iraq reported citizens had 48 hours, from Monday, to exchange old currency for lower denomination notes. Tony believed this signaled the RV was imminent. Today, new articles stated Iraq was removing the 3 zeros, but not revaluing the currency. Language Tony says is intentional, and a sign the RV is actually close. Tony explained that when Iraq publicly says what they aren't going to do, it often means they are about to do it. Timing and announcement expectations. Tony was told today's announcement would come at 1:30 p.m., but Sudani did not make it. Historically, Tony says the key times have always been 1:30 a.m. or 1:30 p.m. The CBI, Central Bank of Iraq, continues releasing articles about dropping the 3 zeros, but will not officially confirm the revaluation until it happens. Bank sources told Tony, "It will happen overnight while you sleep. You will wake up to it." Tony expected this could mean 1:30 a.m. EST, 8:30 a.m. Iraq time, or an international announcement around 7:30 a.m. Iraq time. He emphasized, all that remains is for Sudani to make the announcement. The remaining notes in circulation are expected to remain valid. Next steps and personal preparation. Tony hopes to receive high and low rates for all currencies by Friday. He advised everyone to have a 10-day plan after the RV. Key safety and financial tips. Stay calm and grounded. No panic or fear. Be discreet. Don't tell others you've exchanged or received money. Avoid using cards linked to accounts with large sums. Open a separate spending account with limited funds for daily use. Keep your financial privacy even from friends and family to avoid pressure to solve their problems. Summary. Tony believes Iraq's recent articles and activity strongly indicate the RV is close. Despite another missed 1:30 p.m. announcement, he remains confident that once Sudani speaks, it will move quickly, possibly overnight. He continues urging listeners to stay ready, stay private, and have a clear plan for when the funds arrive.
Posted by @Andrus978. For those who do not understand what it means to remove the zeros, remove the 3 zeros, simply move the decimal point 3 positions to the left. The value of the dinar is around 0.00089. If the zeros are removed, it will be 0.89, that is, a ratio close to 1:1. From there, the dinar will recover its value according to its resources, etc.
MAJEED on X comments, all of a sudden, Iraq news channels talking about currency's value like Kuwait dinar and how strong it is. And 2 days ago, they were talking about deleting the zeros and fixed exchange rate, and then denying changing the rate, which is impossible to not change the rate when you delete zeros from your currencies. And 2 weeks ago, Iraq started talking about the history of their currencies. Yeah, we're so fucking close. Ha ha ha.
Get ready, everyone. It's official. As of October 21, 2025, redemption centers will begin processing live appointments under full GSERA protocol. According to sources inside 2 U.S. Treasury branches, the schedule is already being populated with approved Tier 4B participants. This is the moment we've all prepared for. What happens at a redemption center? You'll confirm your identity through biometric authentication. Your ZIM, Dinar, and Dong holdings will be verified and exchanged at asset-backed rates. You'll receive a digital quantum card tied directly to your sovereign QFS wallet. You'll be briefed on post-exchange asset management, debt clearance, and project support funds. Locations are tightly controlled, no drop-ins. You'll receive your time slot via direct encrypted alert. Be ready.
Security protocols. These facilities are protected by military-grade encryption and surveillance. All activity is recorded through the quantum ledger and cannot be erased. The redistribution has begun. We're no longer about to. We're now in motion. Posted by @PaulGoldEagle. Project Odin initiated. Space Force confirms that a series of silent satellite activations occurred overnight. These satellites are part of a classified network known as Project Odin, a quantum communication grid designed to replace the entire Internet infrastructure. The old system runs on central servers controlled by private corporations. Odin runs on self-generating nodes that can never be shut down. Every transmission is encrypted in real time through quantum entanglement. No spy, no backdoor, no censorship. Engineers inside the program confirm that test signals have been sent across all continents. When the final switch is pulled, mainstream servers will go dark and Odin will go live with military oversight. Social media giants are already in panic mode, reporting data center outages. In reality, their routing keys have been invalidated. Once Odin activates, all digital traffic will bypass their gatekeepers forever. When the transition occurs, information will flow without control. The world will finally see what has been erased from history, from science, and from human memory.
What Trump did in 24 hours. How can a 79-year-old do all this? He uses medbeds. Ron S. SB, Scott Brunswick. Rapid Response 47 on X comments. In the past 24 hours, as the hostages were freed in a peace deal he brokered, President Trump flew to Israel, spoke to the press, met with Israeli leaders, met with families of the hostages, delivered an hour-long speech to the Knesset, did an interview, flew to Egypt, met with the Egyptian president, spoke to the press, took photos and chatted individually with dozens of world leaders, signed the historic Gaza peace deal, delivered another speech, met privately with world leaders, flew back to the U.S. Our great president of peace.
Black Swan Capitalist on X posted 4:02 a.m. 10/15/25. The world is losing trust in central banks. The Treasury will turn to gold for value. Institutions will turn to XRP for movement. That's how the system resets itself. Erosion of trust in central banks can boost inflation expectations, IMF warn. By Andrea Shalal and David Lauder, October 14, 2025, 10:37 a.m. CDT.
Peace 2025. Just in, every world leader in Egypt lined up one by one to greet President Trump, ending with a historic group photo. Trump, we just made a big deal today, so we'll smile. Biggest ever. He said he'd do it, and he did. Dear singers and actors, we spend our hard-earned money to hear your music and to watch you pretend to be characters in movies and on TV. Your only job is to entertain us, to take us away from reality. Your personal opinion means nothing to us. You're significant and influential only in your own mind and within the minds of your elite peers. You are a marionette to us, nothing more. Sing, act, shut up. HAARP signal blasted from Antarctica. A massive energy pulse just blasted out of Antarctica, stretching over 6,000 miles toward Australia. Global sensors lit up. Even experts are calling it very odd. Former Raytheon insider Eric Hecker warned this was coming, claiming the South Pole Station houses HAARP-style directed energy weapons that can steer storms, trigger quakes, and alter the jet stream itself. Now the pulse is real. Was this a test or the start of something much bigger?
Quantum jumping, a concept from quantum physics that suggests a person can shift to a different reality or experience by changing their thoughts and beliefs. It's like shifting to a new version of yourself for your life by focusing on positive outcomes and possibilities.
I am afraid my culture has little to offer yours. My culture lived in big family communities, and from infancy people learned to live with others. My culture did not prize the hoarding of private possessions. In fact, to hoard was a shameful thing to do among my people. We expected to share with others and to take only what we needed.
We are the gods of the atoms that make up ourselves, but we are also the atoms of the gods that make up the universe, by Manly P. Hall. We go one, we go all. One love.
Time is like a river. You cannot touch the same water twice because the flow that has passed will never pass again. Enjoy every moment of your life.